So these characters here are really good at the game because their archetypes are very clear and in my opinion are very unfair at the game. But then there's characters like, you know, there's ERRON Black, who no matter which variation you play, he's got 50-50s, so he's gonna kill you that way anyway, especially online. And then there's characters that have archetypes within variations, and this is how the variation system is supposed to work, right? It's supposed to be, okay, there's, who's a good example of this? Let's go with just having a look, guys. We'll go with Jade. So Jade is a character that's, you know, influenced heavily by the variation system. And in her first variation, wherever I put that, Upward Phantos, Airtos, yep, that's the one. So she has this, whoops. So she has this zoning variation in variation 1, which in my opinion is the best one, because not only can she zone in this variation, but she can also use her tools to extend combos and all that sort of stuff. So it's just, so she can zone in her first variation, right, and then she goes to rush you down in her second variation, which in my opinion Jade sucks. That's just me, because everything she does is somewhat reactable. I'll literally show you guys as well.
You can. Colosseum Beast Head.
There's her run and then glow kick, right? And no matter what you do, you can avoid this move entirely. Obviously I'm gonna make a Jade video in the future, but like Jade's archetype is meant to be this crazy rushdown character, right? In this variation specifically. Whoops. So she can finish this string, right? And then she's +5. But if you know how to flawless block that, she's fully punishable, right? So what people will do is this, and make her +3, and then make you eat the 11 frame mid all over again. I haven't played Jade in a while, so bear with me a bit. Let's just say down 4. Okay, you know, down 4 after that, right? And because you're +3, you have a 7 frame long reaching poke to take your turn back, right? And you'll say, oh well, you can jump the poke, and then, you know, she has back 2 to check you with as well. And the reason she sucks in this variation is literally because, I'll show you guys here. Where is it? Close. No. Sorry guys, I'm having a bit of a brain spasm right now. I gotta play. Yeah, that's right. Cool. Right. So you're gonna do this, and then, is that jail now? Wow, okay. I did not know this. They must have patched this recently. Okay. Just try one more time. Wow, this jails. I did not know this. Before, you could literally duck her glow kick because it would just go, like it wouldn't jail, but now it totally jails. So Jaded, in my opinion, just got a whole lot better. And then, you know, she has this move, but I kind of really can't explain it now because the issue she had is gone. So fair enough. Jade. So Jade has this, you know, rushdown variation that now works very well. I did not know that. I did not know that the glow kick amplify was jailing off her back 3 4-3 string, so that's good. That was her main issue, actually, that I was going to talk about, was she'd do back 3-4-3 into run amplify glow kick, right? And you would just duck it and then get an uppercut crushing blow on her, or just full combo punish, right? And then even if she didn't amplify the run, she'd do the overhead, but you could uppercut that anyway, because it'd be a full combo if you could down one. And then if she cancelled, she was so minus that if you uppercut it, it didn't matter. So literally matching uppercut out of that was your way up, but obviously you can't do that now. I did not know that. And then there's this other variation which I think is very gimmicky. They might have actually changed this variation too. So just let me quickly go with sorry about that. Go with it. Go through it with you guys. So she has this gap in the string, right, which is back to 1-2-4, I think. Whoops, wrong character. So she has this string, right, which is a gaping gap in it. Now, depending on what range she does this, like, you can obviously punish her. So, whoops. Right, so she does this, and then you get a full combo punish, right? You don't even have to flawless block it, you can just do whatever you want, because the gap is so big. I mean, if she is that close, you can also do that. You have so much time to react to this. I don't know why I'm doing jump into. So clearly you can, you know, avoid anything she does here. And then she has this option, but this only works if you're like really close to her, because if you're at a distance it doesn't work, and you can just full combo punish her all over again. So see what I mean? So, but if you're a Jade player, you know at this distance you're able to do this. So in my opinion, this variation is one of the variations that really needs help. Even from this distance, you guys saw that although the low jails up close, it doesn't jail from afar, so you can just totally interrupt the string. You can also flawless block it as well if you really want to. There's so many options in getting rid of her main pressure tool. When she has you in the corner though, it's a bit of an issue, I'm not gonna lie. That's when she really gets going in this variation, and she gets the 50-50s in this variation too in the corner. But at mid-screen she literally has nothing. She has literally nothing going for her. So like I said, the variation system was supposed to create the archetypes for characters, so people could play the character they wanted, but they could play them like however they wanted, due to, you know, the archetypes being in different variations. And that worked out for some characters. Shang Tsung is one of them, so he can obviously zone in his first variation, he can zone / combo in his second variation. His second variation is his best variation, but it doesn't follow a hard archetype playstyle, and that's one of the variations that bends the rules of MK11, where he doesn't have to play an archetype style in his second variation to be good at the game. And then in his third variation is he's given all the tools possible to deal with every situation. You just have to make the right read. And then we went through Jade, and then Kitana is also another character where she's supposed to have this air mobility slash anti-zoning, you know, archetype in his first variation, and then in her second variation is just rush down. And if you, in my opinion, it's just brain dead rush down, but it's rush down nonetheless. That's why Highborn is very good at the game, because she sticks true to the rush down archetype and the jank of her fans of random block advantage give her that. But in saying random block advantage, she has consistency. If you time the fans perfectly every single time, you can technically make it where you're plus like constantly. So you know, that's another thing. Then there's her third variation, which is meant to be this 50-50 variation. So obviously there's some archetypes in the game, but it is not so there with some characters like NOOB SAIBOT. In my opinion, NOOB SAIBOT doesn't really have any sort of archetype whatsoever. He could say he has this neutral game with his... where is it? Surely that's not a... is that a variation? I'm not sure, guys, but when the one where he has the shadow slide is meant to be like this neutral footsies variation where you do the shadow slide and downfalls and all that type of stuff. But in his third variation, he doesn't really have an archetype because he can't rush you down. Although he has easy damage, he can't rush you down, so it's not really an archetype that is well playable, I guess. I think it's this one, yeah it is. It's just really weird. And then they give him, that's the variation there with the ghost ball. And then he has his first variation, which I really can't remember. Yeah, the sickle port one, that's the one. And he has it amplified, and this doesn't really have a archetype either. It just has tools that are there. You know, it's just really weird. Scorpion is another character that sort of lives and breathes this with his Hellspawn variation. Online it's a menace, but offline this, I mean, Scorpion as a character doesn't really have an archetype, and in his Hellspawn variation he doesn't really get anything except for the Hellpaw cancel. And don't even get me started with Demon Slam. Demon Slam is one of the most useless. It works, but it's not the best move in the game. They could have given him something better. And then there's his second variation where he has all these tools, and it's not good because of the way he because of the base character of Scorpion doesn't have an archetype. So they try and give him this high damage rush down variation, I guess, with variation 2, but it doesn't really play like that. Because the only thing it really gives him is the forward 3 pressure of forward 3-4 and forward 3-2. Because if you try and flawless block, he gets caught with forward 3-2 because the timing is a little different. You know, if you try and interrupt the string, you get crushing blow, all that sort of stuff. But it doesn't really work against like really good players, because forward 3 in most instances with really good players, they'll just put up with a flawless block, or because of the flawless block timing, you can also avoid the forward 3 throw strike throw mix up. So there's also that, and he really likes that. The only archetype he really has is variation 3, which is a 50-50s. But the problem with this is whenever he does the overhead, it's a gap, so you can just down one it, right? And then you guys are thinking, oh well, if you keep going for the poke during the overhead, why not just keep doing the low? Well, the low is super unsafe as well as the overhead, so Scorpion just has so many gaps in this variation where, and Scorpion has gaps in his attack strings as it is. Flawless block gaps. He has gaps you can poke in with certain characters, 6 frame down ones, all that type of stuff. And then there's Cassie Cage, where Cassie Cage has this, you know, combo neutral. It doesn't really have an archetype because you can zone with the kneecapping tool you have, and air bullet barrage if you try and jump. And it also extends combos, so it's like a, I don't know, is it like a zoning rushdown variation? But that doesn't make sense because they're two opposite ends of the spectrum. And then variation 2 just has unbreakable damage. It's not really a rushdown variation at all. Her third variation in my opinion is the best, because of she gets this air mobility and she becomes safe off certain strings, even though she's a safe girl to begin with anyway. She has this, and she has a zoning tool just to back that up. So in my opinion, this is more of the rush down, you know, variation that people want, and it's also very good as well. So yeah, that's how our archetypes really work in MK11. It is in the game, but it's not heavily embedded in the game, where it creates these unfair matchups for certain characters. Well, in some certain cases it does, you know, with Jackie Briggs and Scarlet, because Scarlet is so slow compared to Jackie Briggs, and Jackie Briggs just leaps and ignores neutral, which is the main part of the game. So anyway guys, what do you guys think? I think, in my conclusive opinion, that MK11 does have archetypes, but these archetypes create imbalances in the game that people don't want to deal with from back in the day when they played Injustice and MK9 and even MKX, where it was super unfair to pick. Where if you picked a character, you literally couldn't pick the character you wanted to play because they would just get totally shut down. And MK11 has really fixed that issue, where it's a very fair game, and it helps. It makes people want to play their own character and play how they want to play. So yeah, that's been my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please like, comment and subscribe, and thank you for watching guys.